What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, by the way. I don't even know what I didn't even know it was Friday until I looked at the date on my computer. That's how messed up our world is at the moment. But before I give you this beautiful episode with Wade Contney, apparently this needed to be said. I'm not a professional. This is a hobby, and everything I say in my videos is an opinion. Everything, mostly everything, unless I'm like reading something. But voice correct. Mostly everything is my opinion. My past two videos, I've had some hateful comments and have since deleted them and turned off comments on both videos. And I'm going to continue to turn off comments on my future videos, just for the sole reason that I don't like looking and dealing with hate or toxicity. I hate it. It's a huge pet peeve of mine, and I don't stand for it whatsoever. So if you're going to come on my page and leave hateful comments, I don't deal with that. If you want to like say you don't like my video, just click the dislike button. Like, I'm cool with that. I do that all the time. Like, don't worry about it. With that being said, I now give you episode 5 of the Difficult Conversation podcast with Wade Contney. Enjoy. Welcome to a place where the conversations are tough, but my guests are tougher. My name is Jackson Stepanian, and welcome to the Difficult Conversation podcast. Today, I'm pleasured to be with my friend Wade. Wade, say hi.
What's going on, guys?
Wade, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
I know you're very excited because you're gonna get your license tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's if I pass, but I think I will.
Listen,
It's gonna be fun.
There's a lot of nut jobs on the road. I think
I can wheel you guys around.
Yeah, you're gonna come school?
Beach days? Yeah, no, definitely. We got to get some beach days going on.
Facts. Okay, so as I think the majority of my audience knows, I ask the first question is the same question for everybody. Your political views, where do you stand and why?
So, like, I don't really like that question because I don't like, I'm not like, oh, I'm a left or I'm a right. I'm like, I think individually about each subject, each different like topic. So I might be left about abortion, but I might be right about guns. So like I don't like being labeled as, oh, I'm left, I'm right. I'm more like, I would say, independent or free thinking. I don't like to be like, I know a lot of people who just they agree with anything that the left says or anything that the right says. It's like
a sheep. I saw this one analogy. It was like a left wing, right wing. You're still part of the same bird. It's just two different perspectives, and I think,
yeah, I completely agree.
You talked about guns and you talked about abortion. I kind of want to get into that because that's kind of a good topic.
Okay.
So you said you're left on abortion and you're right on guns. Well, elaborate on that, yeah. or are those just like examples?
Those examples, but I'll elaborate. Which one do you want me to talk about?
I want you to talk about guns because I kind of have mixed feelings on it. So yeah, go ahead.
I feel like it's our Second Amendment right to protect ourselves, but like at the same point, we don't need, AR fully auto. But a lot of people think that that's like legal. It's not. It's really not. It's
the what's it called? The argument that's always made when you bring up like automatic weapons is you'll hear people on the right say, "Oh, but automatic isn't legal." Okay, it's not, but people still smoke weed and that's illegal. Just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not the people who want to get guns. It's gonna be like the people who want to get fully auto guns. They're gonna get them.
They're gonna get them.
Criminals, I don't really see any law-abiding citizen wanting to go out and buy a full auto AK-47.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same point, I don't think we need AR-15s that are semi-auto. I mean, I think that's a little over. But if you need one of my uncles lives in Florida, and he lives in Miami Shores, so he has a few pistols, like shotgun, like just to protect himself, because that's your second, like you have the right to your arms protect yourself.
What's it called? Do you know why the Second Amendment right was even made a right? It wasn't for self-defense. It was to, let's say, we need to overthrow the government because they've become corrupt. We have the right to overthrow, like, let's say, DC. And it's kind of like a foreshadowing of what we saw like the past month. Like, no justice, no peace for the government. You're not going to give our community justice. We're going to give your government hell. So I thought that was kind of cool when we saw that around last month. Yeah. So now I want to talk about your opinion. You said you're left on abortion. Elaborate.
Well, I don't,
Because abortion, I have very mixed feelings about that.
yeah, I mean, I think it's the woman's right to choose, but at the same point, there's a certain. It's about the point, like when does it become a baby? And you know a lot of people at our school are going to argue it's a baby at the moment of conception, but it like, can it survive outside the womb? Can it,
I
like,
think the
is it
argument that's made or that can be made. See, like this is what I have like really mixed feelings about it. I think first I'm going to state my feelings on it, and then I'll get into the argument standpoint. So my views on it is first off, since I'm a male, I feel like I have like
no?
I shouldn't have an opinion on it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But and I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna try and say this as politely as possible. If you and your boyfriend just decide to have sexual intercourse without a condom, just to like be like a little risky, and you end up having a kid, in my mind, and let's say you're not prepared for it, I'm sorry, you have no right to kill that baby because you weren't prepared.
Completely agree. But if you are like
But
raped
let's
or
say I think the only exceptions are if you're one raped, two, let's say your like health comes up, and like if you deliver this baby, you might possibly die, and the baby dies as well.
I completely agree
And
with
that
that.
happens all the time. But then you hear an argument. I always say this. I feel like it's like a derogatory term now that I say it, like, oh, you hear this term on the right. But this is what the right says. The right will say, or like if you're having a conversation with the right about this topic, it's but wait, shit, what was I even talking about? I forgot what I was talking. I was talking about. Oh yeah, my fault. So people are like, oh, but it's only like less than 1%, or like less than 2% when if like health and rape comes is an aspect, and that's why they want to make it illegal. I think it's immoral and unhumane to take away that right just because it's a small percentage of people that have to deal with it. That would be like taking away an AIDS vaccine because a very small percent amount of people get AIDS. Like what? That makes no sense. That's my standpoint on that argument.
I think it's funny how all the people who are deciding this are white males. They're just like you have no idea, dude. No idea.
And there's also this argument I literally just saw on Twitter. It was maybe like this like it isn't like a credible source. It's just like an idea I saw on Twitter that I could like agree with. People like, and this goes towards the defunding police argument. People are like, you're so decisive and you don't want to defund the police, but oh, everyone was on board to defund Parent Planned, whatever that's called, or like let's say like
I
Plan B and all that.
totally two different things.
I
You
know, but
wanna
I'm
talk
just like the hypocrisy. Like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to talk about that? You want to say what?
I think what do you want to talk about first?
I think we can go into that and then
You want to go into because I know this was your idea to talk about this. This wasn't even planned.
no, no, no,
I didn't think you had an opinion on this matter.
I got some strong feelings about this.
All right, so the next topic we're going to be rolling into is the defunding of the police and police brutality. So I'm actually going to sit back and let you state your points and state your arguments and state your feelings on the matter.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start off with what happened to George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Disgust. That person deserves to rot in jail for the rest of their life.
100%.
Same. But I mean, people say the argument that all police aren't bad, and that's their argument. But it's happened so much to these African Americans. It's like, it's a problem. It's 100% a problem, and a lot of people want to ignore that by saying all lives matter. No, we're focused on Black lives mattering.
Mm-hmm.
But when people are saying defund the police, I don't understand how that's gonna help. I think if you're defunding the police, they're gonna get less training, less pay. There's gonna be less people going in there who are
to that argument. When you defund the police, you're not taking away the police's salary. You're taking away their budget to spend on guns and equipment.
But that salary also goes to training.
I believe their salary is given to them by the county, the town, the state. Not the state, the state or the city.
Yeah, but when you defund them, it's like they're not just going to take away the amount they spend on guns or the amount they spend on tear gas. You're taking away their whole budget, right? So that budget goes into also giving them more training, giving them more, like proper like if you, army, right? For example, do you know how much stress training they have to go through? And like just when they're in the battle, they're like they have to be totally perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I read something like plumbers have more training than police
A
officers.
police officer in our country, yes. I think it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 3 weeks in like a few hours. Where like in other like European countries where their numbers are remarkably lower than ours, it's like a few hundred. I mean, no, like sorry, I meant like for like police brutality or like police deaths, but
Oh, yeah.
for training wise, it's like months, months on
Oh
months,
yeah, yeah, no.
months on
They're
months.
trained for like even years sometimes it
Yeah,
takes them.
I'm actually gonna look this up right now. You keep going. I'm gonna look this up.
And just like I feel like the problem isn't the funding so they can get more guns, it's training them more properly. I mean, if you can train them so like think about it. I saw this thing, it was on TikTok and it was like fast food workers have to be screamed in their face at every moment and then they can't even show negative emotion or they're fired.
Mm-hmm.
But police officers are not held to the same standard. They have guns and they're just not trained properly enough to deal with those situations of stress, high, like, oh, he might have a gun, he might not. I'm not gonna shoot though, you know? And I
Yeah,
think there needs to be a big mental eval where it's like you have to sit down with someone and figure out if you have any racial, you know,
I think to that point,
racial
there's
biases.
always you will never have a police system without like some racists. Like it's always
True.
and
But
to
if you can
be
do a
honest,
better
you
job
know
of
you really
that,
good points, and I'm glad I never thought of it like that. So you raised really good points. I think, and when I released the Aiden pod, which everyone's very excited for,
it,
Aiden made the same argument. Aiden made the argument of if we defund the police, he made the argument that they're gonna lash out, and even more bad stuff's gonna happen.
I don't know about that.
No, I feel like that's a realistic standpoint or realistic argument, but just because that people aren't gonna like it doesn't mean you don't do it. Like you when you give a kid a detention, let's compare this to like giving a kid a detention. When you give a kid a detention, you don't want to give the kid a detention. The kid doesn't want a detention, but you got to give the kid a detention.
I mean, the kid's not gonna like it, and he's not gonna like the teacher. But I'm not even scared of more about lashing out. It's more just like I just don't think that less training is or less access to the tools that they might need. You know what? They might not. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if you train them almost to the level of Europe and military personnel in the United States, I mean, I think that's the way to go. So they can. I think that'll really crack down on making bad decisions in certain scenarios because that's what it really cracks down to be. I mean, these guys they're under really high stress
Mm-hmm.
and they make the bad decision again, and it happens to African American males usually because racial, biases. Like, and I feel like even if you had like a mental eval with like someone who sat all the police officers down and like went into their brain, but you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like had an evaluation sheet, and that can prove if you're mentally fit or not. And if they find any racial bias, like racial towards African Americans, they should not get the job. Or even the same thing goes with Asian Americans, or they just should
All,
not.
all all minority groups are treated
Oh,
differently.
women even. It's like,
Women used to be a minority group,
mhm.
and in some cases they still are, and people are going to disagree with me like that because technically they still have the same rights as me. Let's say I do.
Mhm.
But if we're coming from like an emotional standpoint, some people might treat a
Yeah,
woman differently than let's say they would treat me because only God knows why they would.
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I looked up what it takes to become a police officer in this country, and I
What
believe
country?
in
Or just
I said, oh yeah, this country, America.
oh, okay, all right.
And let me pull it up right now. I think it's like 276 hours.
And that is, let's see, 270 divided by,
Do the math. Do the math.
that's literally 11. 11 and a quarter days of total training.
No, you tell me if that's good enough to. No, I.
If I spent 11, let's say it's over a course of the month, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I spent 11 days, like
I think that's crazy. That's actually nuts.
yeah, that's ridiculous. Now see what it is in like Europe or
Okay.
Spain or not Spain. Do Britain. Britain or
What
Switzerland.
does it take? Oop, I can't spell on the iPad. It take to be a cop in. You said England.
Britain, yeah. England or Swiss.
It doesn't. It's not telling me a timestamp. I'm trying.
I'll go look at Switzerland, see if I can.
Sorry, this is taking long, guys, but like I really want to know. I'm really intrigued. You have to be over 18. You need to pass background security checks. You need to be mentally fit, so they mentally evaluate you.
Yep.
I know in like Sweden, Poland, Denmark, like they're really good with their police, but also their jail system is very corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Like very corrupt. Every country has its pluses and minuses, man.
Yeah.
And I just think
You know what's really great to see though?
What's up?
I mean, America. If you think about it, America like leads the country in pop culture. Pretty much anything, everyone looks at America.
You mean America leads the world in pop culture?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I say America?
Yeah.
No, that's not stupid. But like all the people, even in Australia, I think it was England, like they showing their support for the movement, Black Lives Matter. It's like, you know what? They're starting to recognize their faults and like how they can get better, even looking at us.
Wait, who is? Sorry, I don't think I caught.
Like
I don't.
Australia, they're holding
Yes,
march.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's good. Like, so I was watching this triathlon YouTube channel.
Okay.
For a triathlon, it's pretty cool. Anyways, this guy's like this. He even mentioned it. He's like, we stand with our African American. We realize there's things that we can do in our sport to make it more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really good.
I was gonna make a point. I forgot what we were talking about. I think I think the conversation was ending with, or the conversation we were just having. It was about. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my god.
Funding the police, and then
I'm losing it. We were talking about defunding the police.
How to become a police officer.
And then we just talked about how to become a police officer.
Training.
Oh my god, I'm going nuts. Oh, I got it. Sorry guys, I'm really tired. The term "Make America Great Again." First off, when people hear that, they think Donald Trump. That wasn't just Donald Trump. Like Bill Clinton used the same exact. Like it's like a well-known lingo. "Make America Great Again." After the Great Depression hit and all that.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I like this statement. I mean,
the country we live in has many flaws, just like every other country does. But if America was so great, wouldn't you think our people in charge in the Capitol could sit back and realize how many faults we have and maybe even fix one or two of them? Just because like it's written on paper out, okay, slaves are abolished, and okay, let's say I write on a piece of paper, slavery is done and racism is done. Racism isn't just done. I think there needs to be, I don't know, because you can't really do anything about racism because it's I agree. First we have freedom of speech, and you can't arrest someone for like calling a black person N-word.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's more like my grandfather, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
He like our grandfathers, you know what I mean? It's like they grew up in a time where it was okay, and it's hard to learn different behaviors.
I was even reading an article about Joe Biden, and the reason why a lot of people don't like him is because people from that generation, it's so hard to change your ideology of what it used to be. And that's why if you look at videos of Joe Biden when he was in Congress and maybe like I think it was like the 70s, he was quite a racist. And guess what? A lot of Democrats and Republicans, all of them are racist because that's who was running our country. Because our country is built off racism. Our country is built off using black people as pawns for our economy benefit, the benefit of our economy.
how our economy started. And it's not a good thing, but
And
that's
I just never understood the term "we need to make America great." When was America great or great for everybody? Never.
agreed.
Maybe it was great for, oh, and then they'll bring up like this one like African, like let's say the right. Let's say I make that comment to someone on the right. They'll bring up like this one African American business owner. Look, I mean, he's doing great. So the other people, they're just weak minded. No, I'm sure that African American had to jump through hoops and holes that I would
Yeah.
never have to if I try to start, let's say, my own business, hypothetically.
So did you have Mr. Pasha last year?
I did not. Mr.
So
Pasha is a student, is not a student, a teacher at our school, by the way.
he gave a really good picture. So he's like, picture all of us, like the whole human race, on a track, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to run around the track once.
Okay.
Now, if you're African American, take 2 steps back. Now, if you grew up in welfare, take another two. It's like it went like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like it shows like it's a lot harder for them to win the race, but it's possible. But
It's possible.
it's a lot harder. Like I'm so fortunate to grow up where I am and who I'm with and like my mom and my grandparents. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
so fortunate. And I can't imagine being able to make it in being homeless or you know what I mean? I think it's impossible. It would be impossible for me. I don't
I
have the
I, I don't want to make this statement of. Actually, no. You know what? I think I am going to make this statement. Excuse me. Being sorry, being African American in this country is hard or
yeah.
harder. And I think people that fail to see that fail to look at the real problems that we have to deal with. That's just like it's. I saw this one statement. It was like, oh, if we just shut off the news, I bet none of this stuff would be happening. That'd be like if I don't look at the scale, I'm not overweight. Like what? Like we can't look away. Sorry if you heard that motorcycle. We can't look away and not acknowledge the things that's actually happening. And I feel like that's what not only our administration is doing, but most people in high power. They don't want to like see what's actually happening. And when they do, they might take the wrong steps to do it.
Yeah.
Like recently, Gina Raimondo recently changed our state name from Rhode Island and Providence Plantations to just Rhode Island, which is amazing and a great gesture. But do you know how much money that costs?
Yeah, I get it. Like
A lot of money.
I
Costs
get
a lot
it.
of money.
It's like a symbol that we're showing yours, but it's like
But I feel like there could, but like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy she did it. But it should have happened like 15 years ago
mhm.
or 30 years ago.
But
But
now that
that,
attention's
that
brought to everything's doing everyone's trying to do something and some people are making the right steps to improvement, some people aren't.
I think some people are doing too much. I think like if you like look at all like the videos of like these statues being torn down, not the Confederate
Oh,
stat, not even the
like
Confederate statues, like people,
Roosevelt.
but like people were like taking down statues in like Wisconsin of like of just like not even like Confederate soldiers. Motherfucker, it's Wisconsin. How do you say those state?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Jeez.
I feel like anyone who like the thing is it was part of our culture back then. Like it's not okay now, but it was part of our culture way
Oh,
back.
I want to talk about this. Do you agree with people taking down the statues,
Well, it depends on who it is.
Confederate statues, like Horace
If
Grant,
you're
whatever
a
his name?
Confederate war soldier, you should be taken down. If you fought for slavery, I think you should be replaced with a activist like
Yeah,
Martin Luther King.
like Andrew Yang. No, I'm playing.
Martin, 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 not Martin.
does
Malcolm X.
Does MLK have a statue?
I don't know. Look it
I'm gonna
up.
I'm gonna look it up. Homie,
Um,
he better have a statue.
but like them taking down Theodore Roosevelt, it's like,
Oh, you saw that in New York?
yeah,
Do you know why they took that down?
not totally, but I just
I'm going to tell you why they took that down. So it was a statue of Roosevelt riding a horse, which is, but that's all like the like let's say Fox News told you. The reason they took it down is because here's the horse, and then right next to him is an Indian, or not Indian, that's a Native American, and then next to him is a slave. So
oh well
it's
then
kind of like he's a prominent figure compared to these two minorities. So what they're doing is they're they one of the Roosevelts have like a dynasty in it. They're like two of like the greatest presidents we've ever had when it comes to accomplishment wise. So they took down the statue. They renamed a whole wing in the museum after him, and they're gonna rebuild another statue, just him on the horse.
See, that's a thing that doesn't come out in the news.
You gotta read. I mean, like the article will say
But like, it's not the
Theodore
headline.
Roosevelt. Exactly. That's why people need to understand.
Because
Just
people
like
want
just click,
they want
click
website
it.
clicks. You know,
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
they just want like the news. I think we can segue into like fake news and stuff. Like the news just
You
wants
want
to
to segue
like,
into fake news? We still have to talk about police brutality. We have a lot to talk about. I'm very excited. I was begging Wade to come on this podcast. I again asked Wade. Like Wade said, "Oh, we can get on 8." And I was like calling him at like 7:15. I'm like, "Oh, you want to get on now?"
I was like,
I was dying to get on this, so I'm very excited. We have a lot to talk about. So I think, do you want to go into police brutality? Or do you think we covered that topic?
I think we covered that pretty well with the defunding the police and like, I mean, I feel like everyone at this point knows, or I don't know, I can't say everyone, but people realize.
But before we segue into the next topic, I want to talk about like a counter argument that's always made, that I hear a lot from the right, and I keep saying the right, and my mom's like, it sounds like you're saying like in a bad way. I'm like, no, it's just like people like on the right say this all the time, and I don't know why, and I want to know why.
Like if I say I'm not on the right, but if someone said the left, it's like you think of the extremists. You know, same thing with the right. If you say
all right, when I say the right, I'm saying like just like a normal Republican. I'm not talking about not yeah. So people on the right that I know, an argument that's always made is, oh, why is I hear like it's pissing me off even thinking about it. Why do we hold George Floyd to this high standard? He wasn't even a good guy. He hit his wife. Does he deserve a knee on his neck for 9 minutes? Like, what kind of argument is that? Like, why are there murals of this guy? He was not a good guy. Oh my God, he even resisted arrest a little bit. He fought back.
okay,
Because he knew what was gonna happen. He knew what was gonna happen.
yeah.
He wanna know what the crime he committed? He used a forged check that he was given and didn't even know it was forged. You tell me if that's an excuse to put a knee on someone's neck for 9 minutes.
He was though. I'm pretty sure on the autopsy he was high on like it was some drug.
I don't care. Oh, but the autopsy shows he didn't actually die to the knee. Motherfucker, if I put a knee on your neck for 9 minutes, guess what's happening?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm pissed off. That's such a stupid fucking argument.
But I'm just like, I can see how they can think that.
Yeah, stupid.
No, but it doesn't.
I don't get it. So I want to have someone on the show that
change the fact of what the police did were wrong. You know,
like they're gonna say, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't hear.
He wasn't a good guy, but it doesn't change the fact that they killed an innocent person at that time by putting a knee on his neck for 9 minutes.
Okay, if we want, oh my God,
you know what I mean?
Everyone should be held to the same standard. If George Floyd was a bad guy, then Donald Trump's a fucking Satan.
Yeah, no, it doesn't change.
They're gonna say some stupid shit.
He doesn't do bad things. He's just a child.
I hear people all the time. They're like, "Oh, what happened to George Floyd is so bad." But like once I hear that, I'm like, just stop talking. Stop talking. Yeah, but I think we're going to segue into our next conversation, which is fake news, and I have very strong feelings about this, and I think you do too. So I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead.
I heard someone say, it might have been Mr. Pasha again. I'm not sure. He goes, I listen to Fox News, I listen to CNN, and I believe none of it. You know, there's no, like, I can't think of one outlet source.
NPR.
Well, I've never listened to them, so I would not be sure if they're biased or not. That give the news the facts. Don't like miss out on certain facts on accident, or say it from their point of view, and don't give both point of view. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of one news outlet that has both point of views.
New York Times. People, I don't know why.
Oh, actually, I did see New York Times.
I don't know why the right hates the New York Times. New York Times is what's up. I don't know why people hate Wall Street Journal. Well, I don't know why people hate Wall Street Journal. But I already covered this with Aiden's podcast. Because Jeff Bezos bought Wall Street Journal, and Donald Trump doesn't like Jeff Bezos because Jeff Bezos is much richer than him.
Well, Trump likes big business, so I don't see why he'd hate him. Hate him.
I
Like,
just I just finished the Netflix original for Donald Trump last night, and
really,
the Netflix original the first thing it stated was we're going to be talking about the bad about Donald Trump and the good. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to get a very non-biased because they had Donald Trump, they had Trump's friends on, they had his former employees, they had people that hated him, people that loved him. So you like got a understood of what he was
that's
like.
good.
Yeah, it was great. I'm gonna give you like a little highlight or like things that never changed about the guy. Very hard worker, very determined, not as rich as you think he is. For one of his buildings that he built, never paid any of the workers that built it, and he asked the bank for like $1 billion loan, and he has yet to pay it back.
Well, he's probably it's probably got such a low interest rate. Like my grandparents, they own a house, right? They've
Mm-hmm.
had a mortgage on it for whatever amount of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't pay it back because they make more money. They don't like pay all of it right now because they make more money by investing that money in stocks than they would paying it out and decreasing the interest, if that makes
See,
sense.
I don't want anyone to quote me on the numbers I just said because this is paraphrasing it off memory, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's just like the workers that worked for him. They're like, yeah, we're still waiting for like our $1.2 million for building that building,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
which is crazy. And I'm still waiting for him to release his taxes, which isn't mandatory. A president doesn't have to, but they usually do to like prove like I don't even know what releasing your
I
taxes
guarantee you,
does.
I guarantee you, anyone who's over the worth of like $10 million
What did show their taxes?
are hiding their money and showing and not showing their taxes. I guarantee you.
But most of them do. That's the thing. So I don't know
No,
what
but
he. I don't know.
if I
I
had
don't
that
know
much
what he's
money,
hiding. I don't know what he's hiding.
if I had that much money, I'm not. I would. I'm not showing anyone my tax returns. No. Like
Okay, this kind of segues into a conversation I was very excited to talk about because I have very strong feelings on this topic, and it's our president Donald Trump. Very strong feelings.
You want to
Very.
know how I feel?
How do you feel?
He's a child. Like he acts like. Here's the thing. He says whatever comes first to his mind. He thinks and does whatever comes first to his
I
mind.
saw this. I saw this one
He doesn't
tweet.
think.
Go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting
No,
you.
no, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That was
Oh,
it.
I saw this one thing where it's like Donald Trump embodies the American person.
No.
I responded to that tweet and said, if Donald Trump represents what America is, I said, homie, I don't want to fucking be American. I don't want to be American if Trump is what American means.
He's
Why?
he's an idiot. Like he says
He's
whatever.
evil. He's fucking evil.
I wouldn't say he's evil. I just
No,
think
he's evil. He's evil.
he's so childish that he doesn't think and he just does whatever. You know what I mean?
And now I don't want to just say he's evil and then not give you points to why he's the why. Like I don't want to be like that one person on the left who was like, I don't like big orange men. Big orange men bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why he's evil. First, when you want me to start, like ask me something and I'll tell you why. I can't think off the top of my head. Okay, not why is he evil? Like, all right, you know what?
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
I agree that he handled. Okay, I want to. Why did everyone hate on him when he closed the European borders to
He didn't.
U.S.?
He didn't close the European borders to U.S. He closed the China borders to the U.S. because we didn't think at the time like that was a good thing. It was a good thing that he did that. Like you got to give credit where credit's due. It was a good thing that he closed
But everyone said it was ridiculous that he did it.
because people hold him to a certain standard, and I believe he's heavily criticized. Majority of the time, he's criticized for no good reason. So when he should be criticized, no one believes the media.
Exactly. I mean,
So I think when he closed the Chinese border, that was a good thing that needed to be done. But the thing is, that's like closing one hole. Let's say
no, I think he did close the European borders earlier than.
if he closed the European borders, we would not have gotten COVID this bad. We got COVID from Europe.
Wait, I'm gonna check this because you might be right, but I might be thinking Chinese.
No, and like everyone tries to paint Trump as this racist because Trump has a very racist past, and and half the BS the media spews at you is what he does is like not bad. But recently, like the past 2 months, he's been on like a spree of just bad things.
Yeah. No, I agree. So he did close. Just saying, he did close travel from Europe to the United States
When?
March 12th.
That was 3 days before our country blew up in our face. So that did nothing. That did nothing to
But
us.
everyone did criticize him for it.
Because at the point, it was like January 15th. We didn't think this was that big of a deal, and it was the intent behind which he did it, and his
Oh
messaging.
yeah.
Like, say we're gonna close our borders to China due to the fact that you might have a very serious problem on your hands, and we don't want that. He didn't say it like that. I don't know how
Also, you have to kind of blame the
I
Chinese
can't
government.
quote him on the spot, but trust me, it wasn't that polite.
You also do have to kind of blame the Chinese government about the whole blow up because
Oh
they.
no, you can't. But I'm gonna read you this tweet that Mr. Donnie just tweeted out a few minutes ago. You
I
ready?
can't believe you said that. I
So
really,
sorry, that's my trash can. Wow, I'm gonna read this tweet to you
I
guys.
really can't believe you just said that. You know what I mean?
And while reading this, I thought he was like gonna acknowledge like the bet. You'll get it. As I watched the pandemic spread its ugly face all across the world, good so far, including the tremendous damage it has done to our USA. He has acknowledged it's done really bad thanks to our country.
That's
I,
good.
I become more and more angry at China. People can see it and I can feel it.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is where I think he's coming from. I mean, I can't.
Where does he
Say.
coming? Where's he? I want to know. Where's he coming from? Where's he
I
coming from?
think. I mean, think about it. The Chinese government tried to hide it from the world.
Oh no, they try to hide it, but it's our problem now. We're the bad guy, nigga. We're doing nothing about it.
Yeah, it
We're handling this so
awful.
poorly. It's laughable.
Yeah,
The
because
whole term was to
parents
flatten
and
the whole term was to flatten the curve to make our lives a little bit easier. I think that curve was flattened for like a week, and now it's worse than it
well,
was in March.
except for Rhode Island and Connecticut, who are the only states that are going down.
Yeah, and like last Friday we had like 16 new cases, which is ridiculous.
That's low. 16?
Out of like 4,000 positive, out of 4,000 tests, 16 new cases.
That's really low.
Yeah, it's ridiculously low.
Yeah, we're doing like Junior Mundo with all the restrictions like interstate travel. Like I know someone tried to sue her, I think the New York governor, but
Yeah, it was Cuomo. And then,
whatever.
but then Cuomo and Gina talked it out, and then Cuomo was like, "Okay, I get where she's coming from." Cuomo's a good guy. I
Okay.
like Cuomo. I want to keep talking about Trump because, oh my God, I could go on for hours. I want to talk about the Ukraine investigation. Remember the impeachment trials?
Oh yeah, didn't it? They find nothing.
No,
Then how do you
they
know?
they found something. That's why they impeached him. It's just
What?
it went to an all red Congress, an all red House. So I could
Well,
record
everyone knew that was gonna happen.
I could record shooting you right now, and someone would go, Jackson just shot Wade. And let's say they didn't like me. They'd be like, Jackson didn't shoot Wade. That's what that situation was like. I read the transcript. I saw what that said.
I feel like he. I don't know. I feel like I don't know as much as you do. Like I have no.
Okay. And I can't think of that. I have a very fast moving brain. I can't think of anything on the spot like right now. I have to like get the information in front of me. But let's say let's say I'm completely innocent in something and someone's accusing me. Why would I feel I have to block people from that was loud. Did you get that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just got a text notification. That was super loud. He blocked so the big controversy is Trump blocked witnesses. Now, if you're innocent,
You mean block
why
like block him on his phone or block him like
like
block?
John Bolton wanted to testify against John Bolton, who is a Republican who worked for Trump, wanted to testify against him
Okay.
because he did stuff, and Trump blocked all witnesses. So if you're not hiding anything, why do you feel the need to block witnesses?
Well, they can just make up like they're human beings.
Well, I
You know what I mean,
mean, we do have a rule, where
yeah.
it's kind of like an oath you
But
make.
think about it. Think about it. If you just say something, and even if there's no grounds, and you say it and the jury hears it,
But
it's
there is grounds. He's under oath.
yeah. But no. But here's the thing. Like they can say, you can say it. Like if I said I'm under oath right now, I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a verbal thing.
No, but there is punishment for lying under oath. If
But
they're
how are
fine,
they going to prove it?
and no, all right. So
You
John,
know what I mean?
So John Bolton was testifying to evidence already given. If there was no evidence already given and he makes these claims and there's no evidence that ever happened, then John Bolton's in a pickle. But John Bolton was talking about, oh my God, I need to word this properly. There was evidence given and John Bolton wanted to testify to talk about said evidence. And Trump blocked him from testifying.
How can he, with what powers? Just being president, or
It's called being the president of the United States.
like, did he verbally say, "I'm not allowing him to testify"?
Yeah, like
Well,
no witnesses. He's like no witnesses were allowed on the stand.
There must be grounds or something.
Except a said few.
What were the grounds to do that? Because you can't just say it. There has to be some.
Yes, there is. It's something called a veto. you just veto it.
No, that's only with a bill. I'm pretty sure it has. There's so judicial like checks and balances. Judicial courts check the president. So I don't think unless there's like a motion that he had to like certainly carry out. I don't think he can just say I can't have witnesses.
Oh, here's an article. Why block witnesses? Why block impeachment witnesses? Let me read it. Democrats were pushing for witnesses, and not Trump. So Trump told Republicans to block it. That's what happened. Trump didn't just do it. He was like,
okay,
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like, but why hide? Like, what do you have to hide?
Yeah.
And all right, let's say Bolton does lie, and they trust me.
Think about the media though. Like, if they get that,
the media just reports what they want, but the media and the Supreme Court are two different things. Supreme Court will find out if you're lying or not.
You know what I really like?
What?
How the people voted against Trump. The Republicans that he hired, they voted against that he wanted.
The DACA bill and all that.
Yeah, was it the DACA? It was the
DACA bill.
Something with LGBTQ or something.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's so funny.
If people don't know what we're talking about, let me educate you sons real quick. So Donald Trump thought it was necessary to take away LGBTQ insurance, saying if let's say I'm a homosexual and I'm walking on the street of Providence.
You already are, bro.
Oh, you can't make that joke. and I get beat up in downtown Providence for my sexuality, which is a hate crime.
Yep.
Donald Trump's new bill would be, or he was pushing to take hate crime away from LGBTQ
That's
people.
So bad.
People, that's not actually what he did. No, it's like what? Like I'm literally reading it right now. It's what he did. And so
I don't really know that much about the thing. I just knew that.
So the Supreme Court blocked it because even like Republicans are like, yo, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, this kid keeps texting me. I need this kid to hop off for a second. I'm in the middle of something.
You're gonna have to like break this episode into like different parts. You
know
what I mean?
I'm uploading this straight up. I don't care.
Section it off. So like you'll have like the first conversation about like this police brutality, and then you cut it.
Police brutality.
Fake news.
No, I'm uploading this straight up. I don't care.
All right.
What else happened? How about he recently retweeted a white power tweet, and his excuse was he didn't know it said white power when it exclusively said white power in like the first 5 seconds.
Because that's like.
Oh, but no. Sorry, the argument is but he didn't have his phone volume on.
Yeah. No. Here's the thing. Trump's a child. He's gonna say whatever comes in his mind, repost whatever that he likes. I mean, that's him. We're not changing that. He's a businessman. He's not a politician. He's not like Barack Obama, who was eloquent.
I wish I fucking spoke like Barack Obama.
What?
I wish I spoke like Barack Obama.
Yeah, no, he speaks really well. Trump's not like that. He says whatever comes to his mind, whenever he wants, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
I just think he's such an awful human being.
You want to talk about Joe Biden?
I do want to talk about Joe Biden.
I think he's a clown.
You think Joe's a clown?
Yeah.
Elaborate. Why?
Well, here's the thing. I think there's no way that all the great things in our country, great people in our country, that Joe Biden and Trump are up for the election against each other.
Well, it's a choice of two of the less evil.
That's exactly what it was last election. It was Hillary or Trump, two of the less evil.
The
You know what I
only
mean?
the only reason, but like more people voted for Hillary.
Because Hillary was cocky and didn't campaign well. Trump campaigned really well.
Okay, hold on, watch this.
He won all the electoral colleges that were good.
See this book? This is one of the only books I've actually ever read in my entire life fully. Fire and the Fury, written by one of Trump's senior campaign advisors, who left and wrote this book. The night of election night, this is like in the first chapter. No one in that campaign thought they were going to win. No one in the Trump campaign thought they were going to win.
Even Trump.
Even
That's hilarious.
I have it bookmarked. I have it fucking bookmarked. It's the first sentence. I have never seen this face on Donald. The face of anguish, the face of defeat. He didn't think he was going to win. And for God's sakes, he lost a popular vote for 2 million. No election has ever happened where the person who lost by 2 million votes still wins.
But here's the thing: Hillary was kind of cocky, didn't campaign in the right states. You know, it's all about the electoral colleges. You know what I mean? Like if you get all the votes in a certain place, like having Florida is more important.
Yeah, right now, as of right now, in this election right now, whoever wins Florida is going to win. And I know right now Florida's leading left. As of right now. And
that's what everyone thought last election because of Hillary. I don't know. Everyone thought Hillary was going to win Florida, and then Trump won because all the African Americans voted for Trump. But I don't think that's going to happen this year.
I'm sorry, there's just no possible way.
There's no way they do it, except for Biden saying, "If you ain't black, or you aren't black if you vote for Trump."
I'm not gonna excuse for what he said because what he said was horrible. But I watched the whole interview with Charlamagne the God, which I also read his book. He's really funny. They were both like mimicking like the other race. Like Charlamagne the God was like acting white, and Joe Biden was like acting black. And then Joe Biden goes, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." And then Charlamagne was like, it wasn't really funny. But then literally, but here's the thing: like everyone's gonna fuck up. You can fuck up. Trump fucks up. Biden fucks up. I have never heard Trump ever apologize for anything he's done ever.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, like less than like 2 hours later, or like 2 days later, which is a big difference, but better than Trump's ever done.
Doesn't matter.
Apologized and said he tried to be cavalier, he tried to be funny, and it didn't work. I'm extremely sorry. I can respect the man for apologizing. I can't respect the man who acts like it never happened.
Here's the thing though. You know what? Like everyone's calling him Sleepy Joe. Like the way he speaks isn't really coherent.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like he's gonna fall asleep and like get sick when he's making a speech. Here's what I think. I think if he wins the election, he's gonna retire or he's gonna step down, and the vice president's gonna go in. I don't think that
he's only staying one term though. He's said if he wins, he's only gonna stay one term.
I don't think he has the wherewithal to.
I do think his vice president's gonna do a lot. He's gonna help him a lot. Just how like when Bill Clinton was president, like even Bill said like Hillary did like when Bill Clinton was in office, like 75% of what Bill did was Hillary.
Do we know who he's having for vice president?
No, he still has not picked it. I'm still waiting on him. I'm still waiting on him to pick.
I feel like he won't be doing any heavy lifting. It's going to be everyone around him. He's going to hire. He might hire smart people.
He's even said like a lot of like the Democratic candidates for president. He said if he wins, it's going to be in his administration. Like he specifically said on his podcast with Andrew Yang, he was like, Andrew, if I win, you're going to be in our administration and you're going to help lead this country in the right path. Because Andrew Yang isn't just a progressive, like he's smart with his progressive ideas. Like I wish Andrew Yang was more of a politician because I think the whole country would vote for him in a second. Like both sides can get behind Andrew Yang because his whole idea is not make America great, but make America smart. Work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really familiar with him. You know who I really liked?
Oh,
Michael Bloomberg.
Bloomberg. It's literally just Democratic Trump.
But he was so cocky in the
yeah, he spent like what was it, like $10 million on his campaign, and then he just dropped it like 2 weeks later. That's how much money he has.
He didn't prepare for any of the
Dude,
debates.
Elizabeth Warren
Don't
like
talk people
fucked him
into
up. Like Elizabeth Warren, they made him his bitch. It was hilarious.
yeah, because he didn't
She
prepare.
she
He
ripped
thought
into
he was
him.
rich enough and to handle it himself, and shows you what's up.
No, that was hilarious. If I could never vote for Bernie Sanders ever.
Oh no, he is way too left.
Yeah, like his whole. I feel like he would rather unify the left than unify the country as a whole, and that's why I could never vote for him.
He's some of
He's radical left.
his ideas about free college tuition for everyone is terrifying.
It could never don't get me wrong. Everyone wants that, but you have to think realistically.
How are we gonna pay for it?
You know, like if you look at his if you look at his rallies, he doesn't even like explain. He just like
No,
he yells in front of a large group of like young teens.
times.
Free college for everybody, yeah.
People who think that actually is gonna work are so small minded. Like they don't understand that. You know how much money that's gonna cost.
That's
And
weird.
also, there's so many opportunities to go to like CCRI for 2 years and then transfer to wherever you want.
Nah, people's pride get in the way when that happens. People
Yeah,
like people would you would rather like I don't know.
they'd rather go to
I don't feel like getting into college.
Yeah.
College talk. Excuse me. Screw that.
Those are the same people who are in all the. How do I say this? Like not rude. Those are people who don't want to put any effort in and expect free things all the time. The kids who.
a lot of the left. That's what a lot of the left stands
I
from.
mean, that's the far left, and with the far right, it's like they're just
The far right is
they want to push everyone down.
no far left is
Handouts.
yeah, I think it's a good way I can put it. Handouts, and then far right
Want to
is
push other people down.
not even just that, it's just pure capitalism. The pure drive for money and do anything for money.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know. I don't feel like getting into that either
You gotta
because
find that middle ground.
yeah,
Our country's so
100%.
divided right now.
My mom says she was born in the 60s and she's never seen anything like this. She said at least when when was Nixon president?
Oh, he was bad.
The 50s? Nixon. Watch me look up Nixon. It doesn't pop up. Richard Nixon. No, all right. My mom was like 5 when he was president, so that doesn't work. But like what she told what my mom's parents told her that my mom tells me, like people.
That's confusing, but I got it.
You got it, yeah.
Yeah.
When it was revealed that Nixon like cheated the election, like even his supporters were like no, like everyone hated him. And Donald Trump has specifically said like he said he could go in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and people would still love him.
Yeah, no.
And it's 100% facts.
You think so?
Oh my God! Donald Trump. Their excuse would be like he didn't actually do that. Like he was like told to by like the media. Like what?
I feel like anyone will find excuses.
It's ridiculous. I can't understand why people still like him. Like,
I mean,
if the only reason you have that you still like him is the economy, my question is, does that affect you personally? If so, okay, that's one thing. What else? I can't think of anything else.
my grandfather is a huge Trump. Well, he was born in the age where it's like, military money, like not money,
No,
but
but Trump doesn't care about your military. He doesn't give a shit about our soldiers.
He's put so much money into the military.
Donald Trump,
which is a stupid idea.
He's also put a ton of money into HBCUs, historic Black colleges and universities.
He has?
Yes, that's why people are like, "Oh, blacks for Trump."
Oh,
I can do a lot of things when I have money.
Yeah.
But
True.
like you see, like a lot of celebrities like donate to charities just to make themselves look good. But like,
oh yeah, no.
shit people. Like
all right. This is we should talk about
what?
That kind of like really annoys me. Cancel culture.
Oh, I already talked about cancel culture with Hayden, man. You got tuned into the episode.
It's
I'll
just
talk.
like,
I'll talk about it again. Dude, my ear looks like a raw piece of meat. I don't know what's
yeah,
going
I
on.
know it's looking red.
It's like a red. I think I might put a beanie
I
on or
just
something.
like, I understand hate speech. You should not be able to say it on the internet.
No, if like you, if I like, okay, let me
But if you
elaborate.
disagree with anything that like a certain news company says, they can just kick you out, and
And
that's
ruin your life.
and ruin your life. Like that, like the TikTok you posted.
Oh, dude, that was bad. Dude, they emailed LaSalle.
What did they say to them?
They were they were like, do you know what your students are posting? And I think Mr. Finnegan was like, he just stated his opinion. He didn't say anything ridiculously bad.
It's ridiculous.
It's
Like they
crazy.
can ruin your life about saying one thing 25 years ago.
I think that's ridiculous. Like, I think it's different. Like, let's say,
You say it right now, and then they
then,
like,
all right, let's say I go out, let's say I tweet right now, F N words.
oh yeah, that's
The
so
world has every right to fucking ruin my life. I don't
agree.
care. But let's say I tweeted that out like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of a different story.
yeah.
Just
Like,
for the sole reason that people can change with time.
mm-hmm,
Even like 2 weeks. I made this argument with Hayden. Like, I feel like I can change as a person in like, if I really tried, in like 2 weeks.
I agree.
So yeah, I think cancel culture is actually horrible. Horrible.
And it's making people scared to speak their mind. You
Yeah,
know,
what's it called? You have to be really careful with what you say online. Really careful.
like even here in the podcast, I'm just like I'm really have to think before I say a certain thing.
And
It might be
yeah, in the an argument that's being made, dude, I have to stop saying this. Like, by the right or right media is and they're kind of right about this. Cancel culture is of, but they like say like really bad. Like they're saying like cancel culture is like a form of communism. I'm like, okay, but they're saying how like cancel culture is like take like let's say I go out on the street and I say FN words. I'm gonna keep going back to this and I say FN words. Like, it's super fucked up. It's horrible.
oh yeah.
But like, if we're talking technicality, it's my First Amendment right to speak my
Mhm.
mind.
But if you put it on social media,
Facts.
you know,
So I get where the right's coming with that, but as like a boss, I'm not gonna hire someone who's like an open racist.
yeah. But if
But
they, I feel like as a boss, you should understand if they said something like 20, 15 years ago, even like
even like a year ago, a year ago.
if they said it and you talk to like if you bring it up and you talk to be like, do you still feel this way? And they say yes, all right, then I'm not hiring you. You know what? But if you,
Yeah.
I don't, I made a stupid mistake. I was stupid. I was young. You know what I mean?
No,
They
I
shouldn't.
got you. No, cancel culture's whack. I can't like go on TikTok anymore.
Is it me or is it like more left? Or is that
Oh my god, it's like
like
it's a left thing. It's a
really
far
left?
left thing.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
horrible.
I
Nah,
hate
man.
how people.
Far left are crazy. They're fucking nuts.
I
Fucking
feel like
crazy.
no, they're not as crazy as far right. Far right is like
I think it's a different kind of crazy.
yeah.
It's a different kind of crazy.
Far right are like white supremacist.
No, yeah, in conservative radio shows, Ben Shapiro, who's right, he said, and I get this idea from him. He said he's like his idea is far both sides is evil. You don't think about USA, you think about your party. And he was
Hmm.
like, far left is extreme progressive, and progressive is good, but anything to an extreme is bad. Anything drinking too
Agreed.
much water is bad. Eating too much is bad. Like extreme progressive is far left, where you don't want to like. Let's say we take down statues, Confederate statues, which is good. That's a progressive thing to do, is take away that horrible piece of history. But just a statue, like a far left would like wipe it from our history book.
Yeah, it's
As I was saying, far left is like extreme progressive, and like far right is like you said, it's white supremacist and racist. That's
it's
why you when like people like let's say someone tells you like they're Republican, people like automatically think they're like racist, which is horrible.
I yeah no, that's so true.
Which is horrible.
You can't say you're on the right or Republican or anything.
If every person on the right is racist and every white person's racist and every black person's a thug and every cop is bad, that's how I think about it.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's gross how people just put labels on. And then here's the thing: they put labels on the other side, but then if they get labeled, it's like,
The end of the world.
"Woe is me!
Oh no, no.
You're attacking me." You know?
Most Karens were like far left, but now we're seeing some racist Karens out here.
Yeah.
I love those Karen
That
videos.
woman who called the cops on the young girl,
No, I didn't see that.
lemonade or something.
What what was that?
It's a while back. This young girl, this young African American girl,
Uh
was
huh.
selling lemonade on the corner, and
Oh, I did see that. I did see that.
this lady came out and started like screaming at her, called the cops. It's like, you're a disgusting person. You deserve to lose your job.
No, Karens are crazy. And I saw this one tweet from like Chance the Rapper, and he said, which was kind of a good point. It was like, are we using this term? I'll try and pull up the tweet right now. I'm trying to paraphrase right now. Are we using the term Karen to like protect these people's like life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you remember that one clip of like the dude like going for like a jog in like Central Park, and like this one crazy bad shit lady like tried to say like he was like harassing her,
Oh yeah, and
and
didn't he have a video of it or something?
he
Someone.
went like he was bird watching. Like what? But let me try and get this Chance the Rapper thing up.
I feel like there's more creepy white people than there are creepy African Americans.
All right, here it is. You ready? Is it possible that the Ken and Karen shit is helping protect the identities of these people?
That's kind of a fair point.
It is. I think it is. I
Get
think
their
it's a
name.
very fair point.
Like, you know how we, like, for the Black Lives Matter movement, we say like George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like we should do that for like the awful people on the Karens. We should say their names. This person. This is
Yeah.
this person. You should be shamed publicly.
All right. We have a few more topics I want to get into, and then I think we have two more. And then
This has already been an hour. Jeez,
I'm having a great time.
this is a good time.
There was a something. How I get most of my news, I don't like get the information like not. I don't read it on Twitter, but Twitter is where I find out like what's happening,
Okay.
what's everyone talking about. Like I found out about the whole Russia thing that happened a few days ago on Twitter. I
What
found,
was the Russian thing? I'm not familiar with
you
it.
don't know, but oh man, you're
I
missing
might know
out. Oh
something.
my god. Uh, Vladimir Putin is putting bounties on American soldiers' heads,
Oh my god.
and apparently Trump knew about it,
Cold War
and
Part Two.
that's what people. That's why people, even people on the right, are saying like, and this isn't like just some allegation. Like this is like there's evidence, and there's someone from his administration saying this. So, and also the excuse. Want to hear the excuse?
I would love it. They always have an excuse.
It was, oh, we didn't have a meeting about it. Where in fact, even his own administration was like, we did have a briefing on it. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. All I know is that that's not a good look, and I don't think people are talking about that enough.
You know what I
Uh,
kinda,
what I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
you know what I kind of want to hear your point on?
What?
People burning the American flag. What do you think about
I
it?
don't agree with it whatsoever.
Very good.
I think, yeah, no, it's like why?
Did you hear about the Drew Brees thing? That really aggravates me.
That's why I think Fox News is the most corrupt news source. Fox News and OANN.
I've never heard that.
That's literally just like a white supremacist news organization.
So, well, Drew Brees, I don't want to paraphrase it, but he said something about, I don't agree in any instance of the burning of the American flag.
Mhm.
And what? He said it, and then he got backlash from every single person. Like, I get it. I get it. It's not about disrespecting the flag. It's about the movement.
Oh, are you? So wait, you're not talking about the Laura Ingraham thing?
No,
You know? Oh, do you know what I'm talking about?
no, not really.
So Laura Ingraham, I think I'm pronouncing her name right. If I'm not, couldn't give a fuck. I fucking hate her. She's a horrible human being. I hope I don't know. She's not listening to this, but if she does, I fucking hope you have COVID and suffer. She's a horrible human being.
My God.
So back in like 2018, LeBron James talked about like politics on like his Instagram, and she like ripped into him. She was like, Millions of people didn't vote for you. Millions of people voted for Donald Trump to be our leader. So she goes, and she looks in the camera. And so you know what, LeBron, just shut up and dribble. And then Drew Brees said what he said, which is his opinion. And then she goes, "What, Drew Brees? Why are people attacking Drew Brees? Drew Brees can have his opinion. He's a man. He's a human. So LeBron isn't a man. LeBron isn't human. Or is it because you subconsciously put black bad, white good? That's what I have to think about that."
So he said, Drew Brees. So this is a different instance. This was like a few weeks ago. I want to say a month ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I will never agree with anyone disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country." And he just said that, and he got so much backlash from everyone. And you know what? I think we're in a culture right now. It's like, if you don't agree with the popular, not saying Black Lives Matter is popular. Like, I don't want anyone to take that out of context. It's a really good movement and totally needs, it's addressing that problems in our country.
Mm-hmm.
But he needs to be able to say something like that without getting total backlash from everyone around him. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a it's not a racist tweet.
No,
He's just
it's not a racist tweet. It's the people are surprised at the ability to look at the underlying problem.
yeah,
Like he should recognize and understand that it's more than just kneeling to the flag. It
but
represents more than that. And he failed to show that he realizes that. And
I
that's
agree. He could have showed that I do agree with the whole movement, but I don't agree with
and
anyone.
the people didn't agree. The people didn't agree with his apology because the first time he said it, he meant what he said. Like he really thought that.
Yeah, he really didn't think he. But I think everyone took him out of context. I don't think he meant I don't believe in the problem. I think he meant I don't believe in people protesting the problem by burning American flags.
Wait, I'm not. Oh, okay. When I say fail to see the underlying problem, I was talking about what he said about Cap kneeling.
Uh,
I agree with him on the fact that I don't agree with burning the flag whatsoever, and I don't think a lot of Black Lives Matter movement, I don't know what they call them, like leaders of the movement, agree with it for the sole reason that the reason you have the ability to do what you're doing for the sole reason that you're in this country.
mm-hmm.
So the burn the flag is kind of like uh I don't know like what they call it. It's like you're, I don't know, help me out. I'm fucking I don't know what to call it. Like a hypocrisy,
Oh
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah.
Like you're in this country, so you have the right to protest. So let me burn the flag of the country that I'm in, so I have the right to protest. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't get why people like. I feel like I know. It's more like it's a lot of. I'm gonna say like there's a lot of white people who are doing the looting. It's people who are taking.
It was like mostly all white people doing the looting.
It was people who are taking advantage of the protest, and the people. I feel like the news really put that out there, the looting, and people didn't realize the underlying peaceful protests that were happening in the streets while other people were looting stuff. You know what I mean?
No, I'll tell you what news station I looked at the looting. Yeah,
But I feel like
look at all these thugs. Which, don't get me wrong, like if you're taking advantage of a horrible situation by breaking the stores in and taking everything, then you're kind of a shit human being. And I can call you a thug.
Yeah.
Thug isn't like a racist term. It's a thug.
No.
Like when I think thug, I think of like
Criminal.
someone with a hoodie and a gun. I don't think of a black guy. If you think about if you hear the word thug and think of
Why
the
do I
term.
actually think of like a white guy with tons of tattoos and a hoodie up? And that's what I think of when I hear thug.
Okay, let's not talk about race because we could get canceled. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
But as I was saying, like they try to focus on here's the whole picture, the movement, the beauty of what's happening, the change that's coming with the protest. Here's the rioting and looting that happened for like 5 days, which is still horrible. This is all Fox talked about.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's just Fox. I feel like a lot of other news outlets said something.
Okay, but like when it was actually happening, Every news station was talking about it because it was like crazy. It was all over the country. It was chaos, pure chaos. So
I feel
they have every right to talk about the rioting and looting. Because first it gets clicks. Like, oh my god, a city's on fire. Click. Like what? Like I would click. Second, I even forgot what my second argument was gonna be. I forgot what my argument was gonna be.
I'm
All I know
tired.
is that I don't feel like they wanted to look at the full picture.
No, I agree. I
But
think it was
I think CNN did the same exact thing.
very true.
MSNB. So I should change my argument from it's not just Fox. It was every like propaganda based news network.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk about one more thing, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, yo, I'm getting tired.
Getting a little tired of me, Wade.
Yeah.
All right,
Long
come
day.
on, stay pumped, stay pumped. It's only 9:12.
Long day at the office. You know what I mean?
All right, so there is a term trending called "Bar Lives Matter."
Oh my god.
You hear that, folks? Bar Lives Matter.
Joke. How can someone think? Well, number one, they're pretty much mocking the Black
It's
Lives Matter.
mocking the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's
And
exactly what all lives matter is as well.
they're they're trying to. Whoa, that was kind of scary.
Right? You heard that firework? Jesus, fireworks are out of control.
And they're trying to, like, they're thinking that the bars are more important than the health and safety of people around them.
You ready for this? I saw this one
The
tweet.
people who don't want to wear masks in public.
I saw this one thing, and it was perfect. Perfectly said. Imagine having to justify your right to exist without being discriminated against. Sorry, let me restart. I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna reading. Imagine having to justify your right to exist without being discriminated against in the U.S. And then people mock your movement, saying "Bar Lives Matter" and comparing the murder of people based on their skin color to them not being able to get shit faced. And I think that sums it
I
up
think that
perfectly.
sums it up exactly. I mean, I think it's a little bit more. I think the person who said it was a bar owner, so he's thinking about his business. And here's the thing: I can see how, like, one of my mom's best friends, owns a nail salon or a parlor or whatever, and she was really struggling when COVID happened because no people were allowed in, and she was making zero income. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so people who do those businesses, they were struggling. And I can see how someone could want their bar open or their
See,
restaurant.
I never understood
But
that.
it mocks it. That's disgusting the way they said it.
A big thing where people were. It was like 2 weeks into quarantine. People were like, "Okay, I'm over it. Let's reopen everything." And but what about my business? Okay, I am so. I'm being sincere. To anyone that lost a business, like that's horrible. Like, but sorry, like shit happens. People died. People are dying. This is a
True.
deadly virus. You closing up your business is saving lives. That's what I have to say about that.
But think it's like,
If you can open with restrictions, open with restrictions. That's what I have to say. But like a bar, like what's the
yeah,
point of going to a bar if you have to like what? There's no point.
yeah,
But
like
I love the fact how they're like isolating on the idea of a bar, the bar,
the bar. It's
not
all
like not like
it's not like
not like a locally owned restaurant, but the
yeah.
bar.
Well, bars
A
bars.
bar is locally owned. Yeah, my fault. My fault.
I might be wrong, but there's fireworks coming on outside my house. But I think a bar, if I'm correct, it makes 50% of its money or more from drinks.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's more than that.
it might be a higher
I'm pretty
percentage.
sure it's more than that.
A lot of restaurants make, like, they go even on the food and then they make more money on the drinks because it's so much cheaper to buy a soda for 25 cents and sell it for 4.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Wade, I had a great time on this episode. I feel like we dove in a lot of topics. I can tell, like at the beginning of the pod, I was very enthusiastic. My brain was actually working, and like by the third argument, I was like, all right, my fucking brain's like dying on me.
My brain's a little jumbled.
So to anyone that actually listened to it this far, which I know there's gonna be like 3 people.
Dude, you should honestly split it up. Think about it.
I'm not going to.
Think about just editing it to like certain parts.
I'm not going
I
to.
feel like it'd be so much better. Like, because think about people's attention span. Like my attention span's like 15 minutes.
Okay, my podcasts aren't made for someone with the attention span of a fucking ant.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair
Like
point.
people listen to podcasts. Like let's say I'm cleaning my room, I'll like put on the podcast. No one like I know I don't. I think only like social like psychopaths like sit down and listen to a podcast. I know
Okay.
I don't. I like when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm like doing something, I'm driving, I'm doing something around my house. I put on a podcast.
How about this? How about this? This is a good one. This is a good one. Good tip.
All right.
Recommendation or not?
Recommendation. I'm
Idea.
listening. I'm
Idea is
listening.
better.
Idea.
You post the whole podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Post clips.
I think I am gonna do that.
Because I feel like
I'm gonna post the whole episode on YouTube, and I think like maybe later tonight I'll like break up like into like little highlights.
like what's called? Have you ever do you know who Pat McAfee is? They're
Pat McAfee.
and Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
The kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Number one, very funny guy. But he posts the whole episode and then he takes clips. The most like what the most important things or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. I don't know.
All right, but before I wrap this episode up, and my mom, I was told that I'm very slow at wrapping things up, which I am. But I'm gonna state this, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. I forgot what I was gonna state. What was I gonna state? Oh, yeah, dude. No, I forgot what I was gonna say, dude.
Wait,
I am exhausted.
what episode's coming out next?
I
Aiden?
think.
Aiden's, right? Because I listened to Hayden.
No, what's it called? No, I think this one, and then it's gonna be Noah and Aiden. I'm gonna top the week off with Aiden's because Aiden's was really good.
Really?
Yes, really good. You know what? I'm not gonna go any last statements. I'm just gonna close it right here. Wade, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem. It was a good time.
If anyone made it this far, please subscribe, follow on SoundCloud, leave a like, share. Have an amazing rest of your night. See you, Wade.
We're sponsored by Raycon earbuds.
Shout out to my sponsors. All right, big dog. See you later, alligator.
Good
Thank you so
talking to you.
much.